Hi everybody, this is Swords. Everybody call me Swords or Queen of Swords, Swords Witch. Stop bitching and start witching. Anyway, I would like to talk to you guys about why the occult knowledge is important for when you're on the other side. The occult information, the knowing thyself shit, you see everybody talking about knowing thyself, everybody's learning about the chakra. Everybody's trying to know what the chakra is. They're trying to, have a better knowledge of what the chakra stands for. And, the occult, paranormal, supernatural, basically knowing who you are. The occult means hidden information. But this is the main reason why this information is important for when you're on the other side. So, first of all, I would like to tell you guys a story about a friend of mine that died before I get into the reason why you need this information for the afterlife. Okay, so a friend of mine died a few years ago, in 2007. And 2 years after he died, he started coming into my dreams. Like I start seeing him in my dreams. He's talking to me, telling me how he's doing. That was when I realized that there is life after death. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really think it was life after death before. My family, Jehovah's Witness. I was never thought that we have a life after death. You know what I'm saying? So after he died, he was coming to me for information. I'm thinking this guy know everything now because he's dead. My idea was, okay, he's dead, so he's gonna be telling me all the little secrets and everything I need to know because he's dead. So he gotta be smart, right? Yeah, right. He wasn't. He was coming to me for information about the other side because when he was alive, he didn't have information on the other side because he didn't really study who he was while he was alive. So he had no knowledge of who he was while he was alive. So when he crossed over, he came to me for help. So that's when I started studying the occult. I started studying the occult information because he was coming to me for help to maneuver on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So I started studying the occult knowledge so I could get the information and pass it on to him. So fast forward, I'm studying the occult now. This is in 2009. I started studying the occult. He's studying through me. So while I'm reading all these books, he's picking up the information through me so he could maneuver on the other side. I would get books about communicating with the dead, life after death. And he would, study through me. When I said study through me, he would, he knows what I was reading. So he got the information through me. So the whole point I'm trying to say is the information is very important for you for the other side. This information, this occult knowing thyself shit, is not necessarily for you to be a better human. You know what I'm saying? The information is for you for when you're on the other side, you don't get stuck here in the astral realm. The astral realm is like a similar world, similar to this world. It's like the fourth dimension. I think that's what they call it. Right now, we're on the third dimension. The astral realm is the same realm where the dead goes when they didn't really cross over. When they said the dead didn't cross over yet, what they mean by that is they're basically trying to say is people that died is still roaming around in the astral realm because in their mind, they still think they're humans. They didn't have any knowledge while they were alive. So they thinking that they're still human. And some of them know that they're dead, but they just don't care. They just, they're not trying to move on. They're trying to stay in the astral realm. The astral realm is basically another matrix. It's not heaven. You know what I'm saying? The astral realm is not no heaven shit. It's the same bullshit matrix like this realm. the matrix. The only difference is in the astral realm, you could kind of think what you want it to be, whatever you think it could happen. You know what I mean? But it's still not the main place you want to go. You want to go to the higher realms, which is higher level of consciousness. From what I noticed when my friend died, the reason why he was still stuck in the astral realm is because he was attached to humanity. He was still attached to his goddaughter, being human, stuff like that. Sometimes you could be attached because you have this like strong desires, like if you're addicted to sex, you could get earthbound. In the astral realm, earthbound is when you didn't cross over to the highest levels of consciousness. So now you're stuck on the astral realm looking for the same desires that you used to get when you was alive. You know what I mean? For example, if you're addicted to sex, dead people that's addicted to sex, that used to be addicted to sex, what they will do is they will be in the astral realm looking for a vessel meaning a human body, so they could, they look for a vessel so they could, manifest their desire. That's the only way they can have sex because, they don't have any body anymore. So they need a vessel to get through so they could have sex with somebody out there. So if you, while you're alive, if you are addicted to sex, then you're a perfect vessel for the entities. Entities is basically the same as a person that used to be alive that's now dead. It's the same thing. Everybody is entities. You know what I mean? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when you see the dead coming around, they're not necessarily coming around to mess with you, to give trouble or anything. Some of them coming around still come around because they need help. They need information. The reason why they can't cross over to the highest levels of consciousness, which is out of the astral realm, is because they need information. So it's very important that you study all this stuff, the occult information, metaphysics, whatever you want to call it. Study the chakras, study everything. Study what death is, because, they have you thinking death is the final destination when death is just the beginning. When my friend died, when he came to me in my dream, he told me that he died twice. He didn't die just one time. He died here, and then he died. He told me that he died in the Nirvana world. That was his quote. He said he died in the Nirvana world, but he said he died twice. But he was able to move on after he got the information through me. So, I would tell him that, we were in the matrix. We really not just humans. We're spiritual beings. I gave him all that information that I learned from reading the occult books, and he was able to move on to wherever he want to go. You know what I mean? And there's no Jesus over there waiting for you. You know what I mean? Everything is imagination. And so like I was saying, sometimes the dead will come around because they need help. They need information so they could cross over to the higher realms. So it's very important that you study all this shit. Study the chakra, study what the third eye is, study everything. Very important that you study everything, And your mind is still the same. You know what I mean? So if you know who you are while you're here on the third dimension on earth, conscious, living a human existence, if you know who you are while you're here, you're going to be okay on the other side, because you're going to be able to maneuver and figure out where you want to be, which is not the astral realm. Like I said, the astral realm is not the final destination. There's other dimensions to explore. Okay? So my point is, if you're dumb here, like I said in the last video, if you don't know yourself here, when you cross over, you're not going to know who you are on the other side. You don't just die and become this powerful, knowledgeable person. You're supposed to know that while you're alive. If you're a punk here, you're going to be a punk on the other side. If you're brave here, you're brave on the other side. If you got knowledge here, you will have all that knowledge on the other side. Okay? And I wanted to talk about, the difference between low vibration and high vibration. With, okay, a lot of people don't realize that when you hear somebody say, yo, you want a low vibration, do you know what it really means when somebody say you want low vibration? Low vibration is depression, anger, sadness, you mad all the time, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. If you mad all the time, basically, if you're always mad, that means you have a low vibration. If you're always sad, that means you're on a low ass fucking vibration. That's what low vibration means. Low vibration means you're always mad, always sad, always miserable, always suffering. You know what I'm saying? Just negative, envy, jealousy. That's low vibration. So if you're around anybody that's always in that state, know that you're around somebody that's low vibration, okay? And high vibration means happiness, love. That's high vibration. Laughing all the time. That means you have a high vibration if you're always happy and laughing all the time, all right? That's what it really means. Low vibration, high vibration. And then we have high vibration spirits and low vibration spirits. From my experience, like I said in the last video, people that live in dirty houses, like, people that's very filthy, hoarders, people that's always collecting garbage and they never throw their damn garbage out. You know what I'm saying? They always got garbage piled up in their closet. They not throwing away no old clothes and none of that shit. Their house is always filthy and dirty and, shit like that. Then you will attract low vibration entities. Low vibration entities is negative vibration entities. I told you what low vibration meant. Angry, miserable, envy. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a dirty house, I suggest that you clean up your house because you will attract low vibration. You know what I'm saying? If you have an argument in your house or in your apartment, you could attract low vibration entities because thoughts are things. Thoughts, whatever you're thinking will stay in the environment. So if you always mad and you always arguing in your house and shit like that, your house will have that thought still hovering in the house. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that when you have arguments, you sage up the place, and the sage will get rid of all that negative vibes. Because sage is very powerful when it comes to, what I mean, smudging. It's very powerful when it comes to low vibration. So if you want to attract high vibration frequency or high vibration entities, which is happy, love, stuff like that, it's best to have your house or apartment always clean. Very important from my experience, because I've worked with entities where as soon as I told them clean up the house, the entity will leave because they can't stand cleanliness. You know what I'm saying? They don't like that shit. So clean up your apartment if you want the vibration to be high, and stop thinking low vibration. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I noticed that when you communicating with the dead, I noticed that one thing I noticed is that if you could channel the other side just by becoming who they were, lining up with their frequency. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to get in touch with your mom, for example, if she recently just died, and most of the time when they just died, they didn't really cross over yet. When I say crossed over, I mean they didn't get out of the astral realm. They're still roaming around in the astral realm. And the astral realm is where the dead lives. The dead that didn't cross over yet. And there's one thing about the astral realm. The astral realm is no different from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the astral realm. Okay? The subconscious mind is all the memories you ever had in your entire life and other lives. You know, the Akashic, whatever you call that, the Akashic records, if I'm saying it right, the Akashic records. That's basically your subconscious mind, and that's the same dimension where you go when you're dreaming. So when you're dreaming, you're in the astral realm. The astral realm is where the dead goes that didn't cross over. That's the reason why you would see dead people in your dreams, because you're in their dimension. You know what I'm saying? I know you heard that saying where they go, sleep is the cousin of death. Well, it literally is. You know, sleep is the cousin of death. So, the dream realm is basically the same realm that the dead goes when they're on the other side. Okay? And your mind is still the same when you're on the other side. That's why the occult information is so very important. So all these people that's thinking this shit is funny, like, everybody's studying, everybody talking about they woke. Yeah, we need this information. This is very important. This information is important for when you're on the other side, because we are not just humans. We are spiritual beings, and a part of the reason why we're here is to know who we are. So when we die, we don't have to come back here again to do this shit. Have you noticed that if you fail a class, if you like fail the 9th grade, what happens when you fail a class? You get left back, right? It's the same thing. This is like life is like preparing you for death. So if you fail, you're going to come back to repeat the whole thing again. It's like a class. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Callie. Yeah, that's my cat. Yeah, so, it's very important that this information is needed for when you're on the other side. So like I was saying, my friend, he came to me for help because he didn't know shit while he was alive. And I couldn't believe it, because I thought that you just become smart when you're on the other side. But no, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say, and very important. Very important that you know all this information is needed for when you're on the other side, because energy never dies, and you are just all energy. Okay? Peace.